Hey Browns fans, time now for another Medical Mutual Browns position preview. Let's go in the trenches. Let's look at the defensive tackles. And the Browns clearly wanted to get bigger up front after last season's injury-ravaged season across their defensive line. And the first thing they did is go out in free agency and they bring in Andrew Billings. Billings, a fifth-year player who was basically a full-time starter for the Bengals in the middle of their defense the last two seasons, making 30 starts there, where he started 30 games for the Bengals over the last two seasons, racking up 67 tackles and 3.5 sacks. Now, when I say he is big and strong, I mean he is big. 328 pounds big and strong. He broke Mark Henry, that's right, the world's strongest man's powerlifting records in high school in the state of Texas. Joining him as a new addition to this defensive tackle room, the Browns used a third-round pick on Jordan Elliott out of Missouri. And Elliott, one of those guys who is a real interior disruptor. 10 tackles for loss last year. He was first-team Pro Football Focus All-American, second-team AP All-American, while the captain at Missouri. This is a guy, when you watch him on tape, and I urge you to check out our Browns breakdown on him with Dane Brugler in the film room, he just jumps off. Explosive. I think he has a chance to be a big disruptor for this team. Now, those two will join the two projected starters. Sheldon Richardson, former first-round pick, former Pro Bowler, former AP Defensive Rookie of the Year. This is a guy who is just a consummate pro. He was the steady force for the Browns last year, doing everything along that line. And next to him will be Larry Ogunjobi. Entering his fourth season, Ogunjobi has 5.5 sacks in each of the last 2 years and has a chance, I think, to really break out in this defense. It's going to be focused on pass rush from the defensive line. So those are your starters, Richardson and Ogunjobi, your backups, Billings and Elliott, but it's really going to be a rotation. Billings, I think, is going to play a lot more on rundowns, and Elliott has a chance to get in there in passing situations. The Browns also have 3 guys who have played games for them over the last 2 seasons that are in the mix, trying to make this roster. Elliott, fourth-year player, 20 career games, played with the Browns last season. Daniel Aquale, an undrafted free agent last year by the Browns who played in 7 games, and Justin Zimmer, who played in 2 games for the Browns after spending time with the Atlanta Falcons. In addition to that group, the Browns also have undrafted free agent Jeffrey Watley. So you have 4 guys that I think are pretty much locks to make this roster, and 4 trying to carve out an extra spot. Some guys, as I mentioned, with experience. So as far as camp battles go, it's really just going to be, how does this rotation play out? When do we see Billings? When do we see Elliott? How do they work those things in? Do the Browns go with 3 defensive ends in passing situations? Now they have Claiborne. Those are the things that we're going to keep an eye on in camp. But your top 4, you feel pretty darn good about it. Now the stat to know, and it's this. While he was in college, from 2017 to 2019, Jordan Elliott racked up a Pro Football Focus pass rush grade of over 91. That was the highest of any interior defensive lineman in all of college football during that span. So the Browns addressed this. They got better in the trenches. The additions of Billings and Elliott to Richardson and Ogunjobi. I'm excited to see what this room can do, wreaking havoc in the middle of the opponent's offense. For the latest on your Browns, keep it tuned to cleanbrowns.com and the Browns mobile app. This has been another Medical Mutual Browns Position Preview.